For many people, suicide is hidden and rarely discussed in public. Many individuals do not recognize it as a significant public health issue. Suicide impacts communities, families, and individuals. Some of you have personally been impacted by suicide. Please remember, it is a difficult and complex topic and is at times provocative or upsetting. The first order of business is seeing to your own emotional needs. Beware of your response to the speakers and the school-based scenarios. If you need to pause and take a break, please do so. Go for a walk. Take time to breathe. The purpose of this training is to prepare educators to better support young people in schools who are hurting or suffering from issues that may lead to suicide. Through this training, you will gain skills that will help save a life.
My name's John Roderick. I lost my son Shane, 17 years old, to suicide about a year ago. He was a senior. My family was shattered that day when we found out that he died. Basically, we're picking up the pieces right now, and some of the pieces are missing. Shane was a happy-go-lucky kid. If you saw pictures of Shane when he was a young boy, you would have never thought that this was going to be the story of my family. He had so much life to him. I do think that I missed some signs. About 2 years before that, I remember teachers saying to me, parent-teachers, that he had never seen the kid smile. And now I think back to that day a lot. That was something I should have probably taken more serious. I just missed it. He was a lot like me, so I thought a lot of it was natural. Maybe a year before he died, he actually was pretty good and picked up music. He stopped playing sports, started playing music, and the week before he died, he went to Italy. He had a great time. He met a lot of friends that got to see the real side of him that didn't know him, and then he returned from Italy on a Friday, and on Monday morning, he had died. The days afterwards, it was almost like your body released chemicals that you were just in total shock. My wife and my two daughters would sit on the couch watching TV. Normally he would be at his computer, which is in the living room where we would all sit, and he was just missing. And I can tell you that the text messages and the phone calls and the people sending mails and just the compassion and love from family, friends, co-workers, I mean, that enabled us to get out of bed and eventually go to school and go to work, and I'll never forget it. I'll never forget the love that people showed us, and that's what enabled us to realize that we had to go on. The months afterwards, you know, were very difficult. It's still difficult, but a lot of people have supported us, and that's what's helped us put one foot in front of the other.
Hello, I'm Dr. Monica Burrell, Commissioner of the Massachusetts Department of Public Health. The mission of the Massachusetts Department of Public Health is to prevent illness, injury, and premature death, to assure access to high-quality public health and healthcare services, and to promote wellness and health equity for all people in the Commonwealth. We provide programs to address specific diseases and conditions and offer services to address the needs of vulnerable populations. Part of our work involves reducing the number of suicide and suicide attempts among Massachusetts residents, especially among our youth. We want to raise awareness of suicide as a public health problem, which includes providing education and training for professionals and caregivers. That is where you come in. You play a critical role in recognizing suicidal behaviors, making appropriate referrals for help, and preventing deaths from suicide. We believe suicide prevention is everyone's business, and we appreciate you partnering with us on this important issue.
Suicide is a significant and preventable public health issue in Massachusetts and across the nation. Suicide is the act of intentionally ending one's own life. The impact of suicide is enormous. It's conservatively estimated that for every suicide completion, there are 6 loved ones who are left behind to experience the complicated grief that comes from losing someone to suicide. When youth die by suicide, the impact of the death on parents, on friends, and on the community is heightened. The topic of youth suicide is difficult to confront, but it's vitally important that communities, schools, youth-serving organizations learn how to prevent our youth from suicidal behavior. In Massachusetts, there was an average of 12 suicides per year of 10 to 17-year-olds in the 10-year period between 2003 and 2012. And in fact, there are a far greater number of non-fatal attempts, many of which are never recorded officially. A suicide attempt is self-inflicted, potentially injurious behavior with a non-fatal outcome for which there is evidence either explicit or implicit of the intent to die. The 2013 Youth Risk Behavior Survey, which asked a sample of states' high school students to self-report on a variety of behaviors, indicated that 6% of students made a suicide attempt in the past 12 months. In too many situations, communities are reactive to suicides rather than proactive. To be proactive, we must look at prevention strategies in two ways: understanding the risk factors and protective factors. The Massachusetts Department of Public Health's Suicide Prevention Program believes that everyone, from ER doctors and nurses, to teachers and coaches, to family members, faith leaders, and even gun shop owners and beyond, should have education and awareness about suicide prevention. As a result of the gun reform law signed in August of 2014, all licensed professionals within Massachusetts public schools should receive at least 2 hours of suicide awareness and prevention training every 3 years. To ensure that all school personnel in public and Commonwealth charter schools acquire the 2 hours of suicide awareness and prevention training, the Massachusetts Department of Public Health's Suicide Prevention Program developed an online training video. As an educator, you come into contact with youth on a daily basis and are uniquely positioned to observe and respond to student behaviors that could result in serious injury or death. In order to be able to respond, you need a basic understanding of the skills, vocabulary, and techniques to support young people at risk of suicide and self-injury and make the appropriate referral. This online training reaches those basics. So, without further ado, on to the rest of the S word, the role of schools in preventing suicide.